Alright, welcome back to my channel. This is part 3 of what if Deku was a demon lord. So, when we last left off, they just did their hero versus villains. And Michael and Uraraka won against Bakugo and Ida. So, they, picking class representatives now. As I always says, they had to do it. So, they actually pick Michael and Momo. They picked those two as class representatives. Ugh. Oops. So, what I'm gonna do, they picked those two as class representatives. So in the cafeteria and lunchroom, they eating. Monoma tries to bump, Michael head, but Michael leans forward so he doesn't bump him. He just, don't care about it. He just keeps eating. Monoma tries to say something. That's when, he tried to say something like, typical class 1A, think that they're better than everyone else. But, he don't get to say anything because he can't speak. He don't know why he can't speak, but it's just Michael using his light magic to basically put pressure on his throat so he can't, talk. But it's not choking him. So, the alarm still goes off and, UA files are still stolen. Now, after, the person that stole the files get away via portal, they then meet up with someone else. As they switch perspectives to Shigaraki, Tomura Shigaraki. As he's, walking out a portal with Kirigiri into this place. It's an abandoned warehouse. As they can see this man, this boy, sitting on his throne with his eyes, his purple eyes glowing, looking down on them. As he says, "What do you want?" As they say, as Shigaraki says, "I want you to join me in killing All Might." As Deku says, "Why should I join you?" Well, he don't say, he says, "I'm interested." Continue. As Shigaraki, being an idiot, he actually continues without knowing Deku's, perspective on things. He thinks that Deku kills, villains just to, make his reputation go up. And he kills heroes because he's a villain. But no, that's not it. He kills villains because he kills villains. He kills corrupt heroes. As Shigaraki tells him, at this time, on this date, class 1A students, UA students are going to be going to this place. And we're going to go there and hold them up and then want to wait till All Might gets there and then want to kill him. He says, interesting. But can you really kill All Might? They say we have a weapon made just for that purpose. As he's thinking in mind, a weapon, huh? Well, it doesn't really matter anyway. I'm pretty sure All Might will get through this. He says, I am interested. I shall accompany you. As Shigaraki is thinking, yes, he took the bait. You will become, my... He basically thinking that I will use you, he wouldn't even notice, I will use you to my biddings, but no, Shigaraki is actually the one who's getting used. So, Shigaraki takes Deku. Him, Kurogiri, and Deku goes where all the villains are at. Now, Class 1A still goes and go to the USJ. They still talk about their quirks on the bus. Then, the CEO asks Michael, what's his quirk really? As he says, I never really named his quirk. But, he just has magic. He says, my quirk is magic, as you can say. Whatever, something like that. It's magic, as you can say. They say, oh, that's cool. What kind of magic do you have? I have light magic, fire magic, and water magic. They say, wow, that's cool. What about that sword you always have? He says, oh, this is something that I always keep with me. It is very important to me, as you can say. They say, oh, okay. He says it's also a part of my quirk. They say, oh, okay. As they actually get to, USA. As they walk in, they see 13 is planes, what they're going to be doing, what the USA stands for. That's when the villains come out. And, after that, Deku steps out. But, unlike everyone else, Deku doesn't have any bloodlust to him because he's not here tries to kill All Might or any of the students because he sees them as innocent. They're not evil. That's what he sees them as. So, Shigaraki says we're here to kill All Might, and Deku just sits on the sideline to watch everything that unfolds. Now, Michael sees Deku and Deku sees Michael. They stare at each other for a few seconds. And Michael, says a spell, a light spell. This spell, protects all of Class 1A. Aizawa and, 13. Nothing can get inside and nothing can go out. No villains can go in, no villains can come out of it. No, none of the students can come out. Not even Kurogiri can get in there. As Michael walks out of, the light magic, as Deku starts walking to him. As Class 1A starts seeing what Michael is walking towards, and they see, Deku. Basically they see the villain. They say that's the villain, Izuku Midoriya. But not Izuku Midoriya. He changed his name. That's the villain Lucifer. Merlin Lucifer. As they walk to each other, and then no one can see what happened, but just one slash. The building starts to shake, and everyone's wondering what happened. And then they see it. Merlin and Michael start fighting. And they start talking to each other while they're fighting. So it's you, Michael, my old friend, Lucifer. I will stop your evil doings right now. No matter where we go, you always have to be a villain, a demon. As Lucifer says, you know nothing of me, do you? Allow me to explain what I went through. As he explains what I said in either part 2 or part 1. And some that have it in part 2. He explains. He, basically was just an orphan. My mother, which I know who she is, Inko Midoriya, and my father, Hisashi Midoriya, abandoned me inside of a orphanage, which I was picked on, bullied, beaten. But I did nothing. I did not protest. I did not hurt anyone. At school, I made a friend. He was a very close friend of mine. Every day, I get bullied, and he'd also get bullied. I stick up for him, of course, because he was my friend. But one day, he took his own life, as Michael was shocked in this. He then explained some more. Because of those bullies, I lost a friend of mine. I was at his funeral that day, as I had to watch as they lowered his casket into the ground. As his mother cried, his father also cried, and his little sister cried also. Trust me, when I made those villains pay for those kids, it brought joy to my heart. So that's why I became a villain. To kill the evil, but also I kill heroes. But not just any heroes. I kill corrupt heroes. During this whole time, Class 1A is hearing what they're talking about. They're hearing Deku's backstory. And Bako knows that this is Inko's son. From the description Inko gave of him, Deku then goes on to talk about his previous life, their previous life. As saying, we used to be close friends in our last life. But then you, the hero Michael, tried to kill me. The Demon King Merlin. Because of orders from your church, you did not even deny them. You just took them right away. That's why we can't be friends. Because you didn't even try to rebuttal taking up the request of the church. You couldn't even say no and refuse. You couldn't have done that, but you had to take it up. You're just like her. That's it. Don't make me like her. But you are. She led me to my death, or she thought I would die. But I survived. And after that, that's when I gave her, I took her eye away. And I placed that curse on her. To always on that day, she'll feel the pain and see the nightmares. You know what? I'm tired. I'm leaving. As Shigaraki says, what? You can't leave. As Deku just, starts walking back. He puts his sword back in the sheath. Shigaraki tries to stop Deku. Touch his shoulder to disintegrate him for, leaving. But Deku took, Shigaraki, think that he should be disintegrating, Deku by now. But, he don't feel it yet. As Kirigiri says, Shigaraki Tomura. It says, what, Kirigiri? As he says, your arm. As Shigaraki looks on the ground and he sees that his arm is, fallen off. Blood pouring out his arm. He said, then he starts screaming. Because, you don't feel the pain unless you see it. I don't know why that is. But most of the time, Deku moved so fast he cut his arm off that he didn't feel it. Deku then kills the Nomu by cutting his head off and, cutting his head into multiple pieces, destroying the brain. And the rest of the villains that was there, he killed them all. Now, Shigaraki and Kirigiri escaped. But, Shigaraki lost his arm. So, Shigaraki is now just one-armed Shigaraki. As Deku, basically looks back at looks back at Michael and says, "This is goodbye, Michael, for now." As he took his sword and he sliced, then a portal comes up, you know, then he walks through it. As Michael, basically just standing there, a little bit angry, a little bit sad. He just heard the backstory of why, Merlin became like this, and why he became like he was in the previous world. Class 1A is also shocked because they heard everything. And they didn't know that, the hero, killer, villain, basically, that Merlin was that strong, They didn't know that Michael was that strong either to match Merlin. As he puts, down his sword, he puts it back in the sheath. And he, snaps his finger and the protection on, Class 1A went away. As they then called the heroes, and, ambulance saying, police. But they get there to see all the corpses. All Might ask what happened as they explain. There was an attack by the villains. But, they wronged Merlin, the villain Merlin. And Merlin killed them all. And, they say that, that's when they says that Merlin knows Michael. As, they start interrogating Michael, as Michael just says, we knew each other in the past life. That's all I'm going to say. And that's all you're going to get out of me. And I say, wait, you can't leave, as he just leaves. As he is still a little bit angry at the fact that, Deku would have been different if, his parents didn't leave him. He could have grew up a better life than he did. And he started to think, I grew up and became who I am because of my parents that I have. The people that, raised me in this world. Where would I be if I didn't have those people? I was in Merlin's situation. He come to the conclusion, I would be exactly like him. So he isn't all wrong. I see it now. So, Class 1A is still shocked that, basically, Michael knows Merlin. As some of them start asking him about, him. Start asking him about, Michael, about Merlin. But he says, that's sensitive information. That's all I can tell you. I can also tell you this one thing. We knew each other in a past life. As he walks away, takes out his sword, he slashes the air, and he walks through, this golden gate. When Merlin, Deku basically slashed, he walked through a purple gate. I just dropped my phone. Alright, I'm gonna do the hero villains and then not hero villains. I'm gonna do the what is it called? The sports festival in the next one. A little bit tired right now. My throat really hurts. Sorry, Thanks for watching. See you guys later.